Alright, so we are on day 4. We have a full body circuit ahead of us. For the first exercise, we are doing something I call the cable X. This totally is a full body exercise, so you're going to be working that full backside. All right, we've got the rear delts, your back, your glutes, your hamstrings, everything on your backside is going to be working in this movement. So what I have here is I'm using the cable. All right, so you want a cable that's going to have two sides, two cables on each side, one cable on each side. Okay, so two total cables. I will give you a modification that you can do at home with some bands if you don't have a cable machine handy or a gym membership. So what you're going to do is you're going to need the 2 handle attachments, okay? And what I did was I lowered them to the very bottom and connected the handles to the clips. All right, so what it's gonna look like essentially is when you come up, it's gonna be a nice X. You're gonna start in a cross-armed position, okay? You're facing the machine. Again, we're working that backside, so we want the pulling to be done this way, all right? You're going to cross your arms here, all right? I have it on a very light weight. I really do suggest starting on a very, very light weight. Cables tend to be quote unquote heavier than dumbbells. Just the resistance is a little bit more powerful. So we're going to start crossing our arms here, okay? So one arm over the other. And as you repeat this exercise as far as set number 2 and set number 3, you can alternate which hand is over what hand. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my right arm over my left. Obviously, one is going to feel a little more comfortable than the other one, depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed. So I'm going to just start with my right hand over my left. And it's going to look like this, okay? You want to step back a little bit because as we go into this squat here, you're going to be coming closer to the point of origin. Okay, so you're going to come down just like this, and as you come up, you're pulling it apart and using that back to pull it apart in those shoulders, okay? So here you want to keep your core nice and tight. Okay, you don't want to be too forward and then just using this and then using your back to get up. Okay, you're pushing through your feet, okay? So pushing straight up, staying back, and then opening up those arms. All right, so we're gonna do this for, I believe it calls for 12 reps in the Pro8 program. So here we go. All right, so that is the cable X. Again, as you're pulling up, pushing through your legs, squeeze the glutes on the bottom when you're down in that bottom position of the squat, squeeze the glutes, come straight up and then pull out those arms using the rest of the back side there. All right, and we will go into our modification for at home. Okay, so for modification for the cable X exercise, we're actually gonna use some dumbbells, okay? So it's gonna feel slightly different. But essentially it's the same thing. You're gonna be working the same muscles. Your arms just might be a little bit more sore than using the cables. But if you have 2 dumbbells, you're going to be starting in the same position, okay? So you're gonna start here. Again, you wanna cross those arms, squat down, go ahead and pull them straight up using that back, pushing through the legs first, okay? So right here, coming up and pushing through. You're gonna go ahead and do that for the set number of reps that it calls for in the program. All right, so that is the modification for at home with dumbbells for the cable X exercise. All right, your next exercise in this circuit right after the cable X is your transverse lunge with a bicep curl. So you just need 2 dumbbells. All right, we're gonna stand straight. We're starting off here. Transverse, we're going to turn and face to our right and then to our left. Okay, so we're gonna do one side at a time. We're gonna lift up that knee. So if we're going to the right, you're going to lift up your right knee, come around, step with your toe facing the side wall or wherever you're standing, about 90 degrees, okay? So we'll use that term, we're going degrees. All right, so starting at 0, lifting up the leg, turning 90 degrees, turning it out, stepping here, lunging and curling as we go down, okay? As we come up, we're going to put our arms down, push off, and come right back to 0. Okay, so again, it's lifting, turning 90 degrees, pivoting that back foot so that now both of your feet are facing towards that 90 degree, all right? And we're lunging down. So both knees are lunging, having about a 90 degree also in your knees, curling down and pushing off. You're gonna do one side first. We're doing 10 reps. And then switching to the other side and doing 10 reps on the other side. Okay, so here we go. Up, out, curl, down, and push. Up, out, down, and push. And finish up those reps. And that is your transverse lunge with a curl. That is your second exercise of the circuit. Moving on to number 3. All right, exercise number 3 in this circuit is tricep extensions. We're gonna use the cable here, and I will also give you an at-home modification. Just a note is for this circuit, just like any circuit we ever do, you're doing these exercises back to back with little to no rest in between. You're not resting until the very last exercise of the circuit. You can take about a minute and a half rest there, and then you're going to go ahead and repeat the circuit for as many times as the program is asking for. All right, so here we are working the triceps back, the arms. So I'm using a rope. We're gonna grip it like you're gripping a cup of coffee, coming down here as shoulders are back, chest is up. All right, core is nice and tight. We're gonna push it down and out, okay? And then we're only coming to right about here. We're not going all the way up so that the weight hits itself here, okay? We're gonna keep tension in the cable. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do our 12 reps.
Consider the world as a drop.
All right, so another note also is as you're doing these, just take note on the tempo of how I'm doing the exercise as a whole. All right, so on my way down, I'm kind of pulsing it down and pulling it out. And then as I'm down here, you wanna really pull it out, contract the muscles and hold it there for a second. A lot of times I'll see people coming up real fast and just letting the weight pull them up. You don't want to do that. It's really important that you control the weight on the way up. You tell the weight what to do, the weight doesn't tell you what to do. So you're controlling it on the way up, and then go ahead and push that down, hold it for a second, and then come up nice and slow and continue just like that. All right, so we're going on to exercise number 4, but let me give you the modification for at home. Okay, very simple modification for the tricep extensions on the cable is to be done with a set of dumbbells. Okay, you can do this very simple, standing up. Okay, we're gonna lean forward, okay, having a nice flat back. My knees are slightly bent. Lift up those elbows so that they're parallel. Your upper arm is parallel with the floor. And you're gonna keep this nice and tight to your body, okay? Almost grazing the sides here. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna extend both arms here. Again, holding it up top, controlling the weight down. Popping it and control. Push back, hold, control. And just continue that for the 12 or as many reps as it's asking for. Okay, so exercise number 4 of this circuit, we're going to use the cable, and I have here connected a rope. Okay, so same rope I used for the tricep extensions, kept it on there, but I lowered the positioning of the rope itself, okay? So where you want this is if you're in a squat, okay, you want this just slightly lower than your shoulder level, okay? Because this will keep you in a nice low squat. So as you're doing this, it's important to focus on your chest being up nice and straight, okay? You don't want to be too forward and then you're walking backwards. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be walking backwards, going into a jump squat with a pull, okay? So it's a little more of a, not complicated, but a more of a complex movement. And then we're going to walk it back, staying in that squat, and then doing another jump squat pull. All right, so again, we are working that entire backside here. So I will give you an example of how to go. You're going to take about 3 or 4 steps back, go into the jump squat. It's more of like a jump jack squat, and then row it in. Okay, so as you jack out, you're going to row in, and then when you jack in, you're going to row out. All right, I'll just show you kind of what it looks like first. Okay, so that is going to be 1 rep. All right, again, focusing on that chest being up, your butt is out, kind of leaning back into it so that you can hold yourself up, okay? If you start leaning forward, you're going forward. Here, you want to pull back on that weight, stay back as you walk back. Once you hit 3 or 4 steps, you want to jack out, row in, jack in, row out, staying leaned back, okay? It's gonna be a real burner, okay? Your quads are even working here, all right? So you wanna do that. Again, I believe it calls for 6 times, but there and back is 1, all right? So if you wanna count both as, you know, separate, it's 12 total. All right, so let's get that going.
I've been coming up hot for a minute. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. I drop the top when I'm in it. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Yeah, I go so everybody.
All right, and that is exercise number 4, going on to exercise number 5 of the circuit. I will give you, however, a modification for this as well for at home. All right, so let's get the cable walks with the jump and pull modified with a simple pair of dumbbells again. But what I'm going to have you do is you're going to go into a row here. So stick that butt out, chest is out, shoulders back. You're going to row it here, come back down. You're going to come here with the weights here, squat, jump out, jump in, and then back into that row. Okay, so chest out, row it in, row it down, bring the weights up, squat down, squat out, squat in. All right, so again, here's a couple of them in a row. All right, and that is your modification for the cable walkbacks with the jump and row. Exercise number 5 is done just with a medicine ball, okay? Whether you're at the gym or you're at home. If you don't have a medicine ball at home, totally can use just a simple dumbbell, holding it at the ends, okay? So the heads of the dumbbell are at each end of your hand. All right, what we're gonna do here, form is gonna be really important as well, just to protect your back. Always keeping your core tight. We're standing here, we're going into a full squat right here, okay? So your legs are gonna be right under your hips. We're squatting down, okay? And then this ball here is gonna start out right in front of you. Chest is up, shoulders back, butts out, okay? We don't wanna be leaning forward too much here and then just like this, okay? What we're gonna be doing with the ball is we're gonna be curling it in and out. If you want to add a little challenge to it, throw on a band, and we're gonna be walking side to side. So that'll really emphasize utilizing the glutes, right? But simply, you're going to be here, out, as you take a step out, you're gonna curl it in. Your step in is going to be coming back out, and it's just gonna look like that. You're gonna continue this motion here, okay? So however many steps it says to take each way, I think about 10 steps each way, it's gonna be 20 total. All right, and we're gonna get that started. Again, this is the same for at home or in the gym. So here we go. Okay, so on another note, as I'm doing that, again, if you have the bands on, or if you don't have the bands on, you wanna take a nice wide step out. Okay, you're squatting down low and staying low the whole time. So none of this and then squatting. Okay, you're staying low, out and in. And also another one is with the ball or the dumbbell that you're using, we're not pressing in and out. Okay, so your shoulders should not be moving. Your arms are staying out and you're curling it in. So almost, you're gonna be like hitting your face as you're doing it, okay? So that is the lateral walk with the medicine ball curl. All right, so number 6 exercise of this circuit is the last exercise. This is actually one of my favorite moves. I don't know why, but it is a full body movement. Just keeping everything nice and tight. We're gonna go into a squat, cable squat with a punch. All right, so you're gonna start out with whatever side you're gonna start out with. So let's just say you're gonna start on the right. You're going to have your cable positioned all the way down to the bottom and have a handle hooked up, okay? So what it's gonna look like is, if you're working on the right side, the cable's on your right side, okay? We're gonna hold the handle in our right hand, squatting down, okay? Again, the chest is up, butt is out, okay? Squatting down, and as we come up, we're pivoting and punching, okay? So here and punch, here and punch, all right? You wanna engage those legs, that's so important. It's not all the upper body, okay? So here, engage the legs, push through your feet. As you get here, you're gonna turn at the same time, pivot that back foot, and throw a nice punch, all right? So we're gonna go for, I think it's 10 on each side. So let's go ahead and get that done. Watch the first couple, and then you could get going. So now for the opposite side, you're just gonna turn around and go ahead, squat and punch the opposite side. I will give you the at-home modification using a dumbbell again. Okay, so the modification for the cable squat and punch, again, it's gonna feel a little bit different than using a cable, but the same concept, okay? So we did our right side, okay? When you switch and turn using the cable, you're obviously gonna be facing the other way where the cable is now on your left side, okay? And then you're squatting and punching. So here, I'm gonna use the left side to show you the at-home modification. All right, so holding it, you can hold this right at your shoulder, okay? You're coming down and you're punching here. Okay, so it's the same thing, come down and punch, all right? When you punch, have that full extension out and your back foot is still pivoting. All right, so let's do that. You've got 10. All right, and then you're gonna switch to the other side, same amount of reps. This is your last exercise of the circuit. You're gonna take your minute and a half rest and go ahead and repeat that circuit for the amount of sets that it calls for. You should have already done your warm up in the very beginning. I believe it's about 10 minutes, and then you do have a cool down to follow. Good luck, guys, and we'll see you on day 5.